If you guys want some gamer subs, make sure to use code GM for 10% off. And while you're at it, come check me out over at twitch.tv/gminers. Thanks. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Gminers here. We finally have a Warlock healing support build that is actually worth running. And I'm not talking about the changes from yesterday's TWAB or using Ember of Benevolence. This build is going to let us keep up ×2 restoration for an unlimited amount of time, and we are also going to always be radiant. So it's not like we're just healing ourselves and teammates and that's it. We're going to be able to hold our own, dish out damage, add clear, and then most importantly heal ourselves and our team. This is obviously going to revolve around the brand new fragment Ember of Empyrean, which lets us extend our Solar 3.0 status effects. In this gameplay, I am in the Legendary campaign, which has both a bunch of modifiers and holds me 15 under power, and I'm still face tanking everything. This is going to be one of the best builds for Master Raids and Dungeons this season, and will also be insane for solo content, and I think you could even take this into GMs when those are out and manage to save yourself and your team a ton just by using the new healing grenades. Let's hop into things by going over our Solar 3.0 subclass layout. First things first, we are on Well of Radiance for our super. Daybreak is great if you want to take this into some easier content and activities, but for endgame content, Well is going to be the play. For solo play, I like using Phoenix Dive, but again, in group settings, Healing Rift is going to be much better for your team. Your melee doesn't really matter, but I think the Snap is much better overall. And then the last thing that you absolutely need are healing grenades. These will let you heal your team and yourself instantly with the cure effect, but then you also get restoration, which continues to heal you over time. The first aspect I am running is Heat Rises. I don't think this is super useful, but it does help me get my melee back very quickly, and it is getting a buff next week. If you do happen to like Ikdash, I think that is also completely viable. And then for our second aspect, we are on Touch of Flames, which really makes this build come together. This buffs each of our grenades that we have. For our healing grenades, this is going to increase the effects of both the cure and the restoration we get. This means the cure will always full heal us, but now we also get restoration ×2. Every crazy Titan or Hunter healing build you've seen relies on restoration ×2 to help keep them alive, even in the hardest content. For Warlocks, not only can we give this to ourselves, but we can give it to our teammates too. Now, by default, we only get restoration ×2 for 4 to 5 seconds, but that is where the brand new Ember of Empyrean fragment comes into play. When getting either solar ability or weapon final blows, the duration of radiant and restoration are extended. This means by just getting kills, we get endless health regeneration and a constant 25% weapon buff. No need for recovery or healing rifts or even Well of Radiance, to be honest. You just walk around and kill things and cannot die. We also have on Ember of Ashes with this build to increase our scorch stacks on targets. This helps us cause more ignitions, which is going to work with our third fragment, Ember of Blistering. By igniting enemies, we get bonus grenade energy back, so more scorch equals more ignitions, which means more energy for our healing nades overall. And then lastly, to make ourselves and our teammates radiant, we also have Ember of Torches. This causes everyone nearby when we use our melee ability on an enemy to gain the radiant buff. Eventually, when Ember of Benevolence is fixed, I will be switching out one of these fragments for that. This will cause our grenade, melee, and then hopefully our rift to give us insane ability regen. So as long as we are constantly buffing and healing our teammates, we will never run out of abilities. The exotic you should be running with this build is either Eye of Another World for the ability regen, or Verity's Brow for the grenade regen. I tend to stick with Eye of Another World because I can generate each ability a bit slower, and then if I need, I can use my melee and rift to help transfer some energy to my grenade through fragments and the bomber mod on my class item. Verities also increases your grenade damage, so for general grenade builds, I think it is a much better option, but healing nades don't do damage, so that part of the exotic isn't useful to us. I also like to use the Callus mini tool with Incandescent, but any weapon with Incandescent is going to work as long as you can add clear effectively with it. For some reason, Incandescent causes enemies to ignite when they die, so this should be giving us increased energy back to our grenade through our fragments as well. For mods, I am running Explosive Wellmaker to generate solar elemental wells, and then I also have on Bountiful Wells to double the amount of wells I generate. To spawn these more consistently, I also have Melee Wellmaker, which spawns wells matching my subclass on powered melee kills. And then to get back even more grenade energy from these wells, I have Well of Ordnance, which just gives increased energy when picking up a solar elemental well. I still have a few more things that I want to add to this build, so I will definitely be making a 2.0 version in the future. If you want to see that, make sure to drop a like and let me know. You are also able to do this build entirely on Titan and Hunter by using Classy Restoration, but you aren't able to apply this to your entire team like you can for Warlock. And then when Classy Restoration is gone, ×2 Restoration is just not going to be possible for Hunters on their own, and then Titans are still going to require Lorelei Splendor, which is definitely doable, but really limits your build to survivability a bit more than Warlock does. I think long-term, Warlocks are going to start maining Solar 3.0 with these changes and the ability to heal a team, but let me know your thoughts on this build in the comments below, along with what other Solar 3.0 builds you would like to see. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.